don't know if you've ever heard of this thing called ginger ale, but our recipe today is basically based on something similar. We are going to make a ginger bug. If you've never heard of a ginger bug, let me tell you, it's amazingly easy to make, just like many of the other fermented products out there, and it adds so much benefit to whatever you add it to. Welcome back to Hidden Oaks Homestead. We are in the kitchen and we're trying out some new recipes that I'm going to share here with you. We have been invited by our friend Anna over at the Fermented Homestead to participate in a collaboration that she has set up for the whole month of February with fermented products and fermented recipes that everybody is going to share. You're going to see one new video and one new recipe every single day in February. And if you think you have to be a master fermenter to do it, you're wrong. Fermenting has been around for a very long time, much longer than me, much longer than you, much longer than your grandparents. It's one of the oldest methods of food preservation out there, proven over time, and it's easy and simple and anybody can do it. With this collaboration, you're going to see lots of different recipes with food, with drinks, and all kind of different tips and tricks. The channels that are collaborating here in February are both beginning fermenters and pros, and you will be able to learn something from everybody. So make sure you check out the playlist and check out everybody's recipes and videos that they're doing all month long. I'm sure you will learn something and enjoy watching them and enjoy trying out some new recipes as well. The collaboration is happening all month long with new recipes and new videos out every single day. And Anna is putting together a giveaway as well. So make sure you watch those videos, you comment on those videos, because for every comment, you're gonna get entered into the giveaway. And what's not to love about that? At Hidden Oaks, we like to share our stories about how we learn new things and try out new things. We have livestock, we grow our garden, we try out new recipes, we like to preserve our food, and fermenting is just one of the many things that we like to do. What I really love about this collaboration is that it kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I want to make sure that I contribute something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. So my previous video that I shared with this collaboration was fermented elderflower syrup. It's an amazing product. It's got great health benefits. And in this video, I'm going to share a recipe for fermented hibiscus lemonade. One of the things that I started growing last year here in growing zone 8B in the Florida Panhandle is Roselle hibiscus. It's an amazing plant. It's in the same plant family as okra, so it grows like a champ around here. Completely off hands, and one little tiny seed will grow into a 6-7 foot tall plant. Out of 4 or 5 plants that successfully made it through hurricane season last year, I harvested 120 pounds of fruit. Now, if you have never heard about Roselle hibiscus, it's a plant that grows in tropical regions all year long. In our growing season, it is not a perennial, and I do have to replant it every year, just like okra. However, it does fantastic during our summer heat and humidity. No problems there. It takes a little bit to establish and flower and then form the actual fruit head. However, I got so much out of these 4 or 5 plants that survived last year. Not even a question in my book. It is definitely a staple for my garden, and I am growing it every year from here on out. Now, Roselle in itself is an amazing plant. It has amazing health benefits. It's great as a tea, it's great as a tincture, it's great as an additive for food. You can add it to cakes, you can add it to any kind of breads, you can make flour out of it, you can powder it and make skincare products out of it. It is extremely high in vitamin C, and it really aids in nutritional value overall for the summer months with keeping the body hydrated and healthy throughout a hot and humid Florida summer. Now, fermenting in itself obviously has its own health benefits. The biggest one there is it supports your gut health and really helps you break down foods easier if you have any issues. Fermenting is a great way to add good gut health and bacteria to your body and to your diet and aid your body in digestion and overall health. I don't know if you've ever heard of this thing called ginger ale, but our recipe today is basically based on something similar. We're going to make a ginger bug. If you've never heard of a ginger bug, let me tell you, it's amazingly easy to make, just like many of the other fermented products out there, and it adds so much benefit to whatever you add it to. Now, the bug we're going to work on will basically provide us the fermentation and the CO2 in order to make the soda and the bubbles that we want in the soda. And then the hibiscus itself obviously adds the flavor to it. So the bug can be used for whatever flavoring you want. It doesn't have to be the hibiscus lemonade. That's just what I want to do because the hibiscus is just delicious. I love it. And you can add it to any kind of tea. You can add it to some lemonade, some orange juice, whatever you want to add it to. It adds that fermented benefit and that digestive benefit to your body with the nutrition that your body needs. A ginger bug is basically the equivalent of a SCOBY that you would use to make kombucha. The difference is we are using ginger, sugar, and water to make our ferment and to make our bug. This will only take us a couple of days to get the ferment started. All we need is some fresh organic ginger, some sugar, and some water. And then of course, the natural bacteria in the air will help us with the fermentation. So we need a mason jar and some cheesecloth or a burping lid or something similar to help us with the fermentation process. And then it will be ready to go in a couple of days.
This is day number 1 of feeding. You want to feed your bug every day for about 5 days. So 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, and it's already starting to interact and come alive.
The ginger bug works almost the same way as a sourdough starter would work for your sourdough bread. So the bug still needs to be fed just like your sourdough starter needs to be fed as well to actually establish. What we're going to start with is some grated ginger, some sugar, some water, and then we will feed the bug over the next couple of days an equal amount of sugar and an equal amount of ginger, and in about 5 days it'll be ready to be used.
Now, what you'll see after day 4 is some good coloring, some bubbles on top. You see some floating ginger right here, and then down here, you see that white stuff? That's the yeast.
Once your bug is ready, you use it just like you would use sourdough. Once it's ready to go, you can use it to add to your tea. Now you want to make sure it's cooled down because you don't want to kill off the good bacteria that you just spent a couple of days growing. So make sure the tea's already cooled down. It goes great with sweet tea and lemonade as well. But we're going to brew some tea, we're going to add our bug to it, and there we go. We got our lemonade and our hibiscus ready to go. Since it works the same way as sourdough, you can either keep feeding it, or if you don't need as much to ferment any further, you can put it in the fridge as well and stop the fermentation process with that. Once you're ready to use it again, same thing as with sourdough, you take it out of the fridge, you wake it back up, and you get on to feeding it and using it again from there. Once you combine your bug with your tea or your lemonade, you want to let it sit for at least a day so that the bacteria can react with the sugar or your sweetener in your tea and really get bubbling and ready to go. Of course, you can go ahead and consume it right away as well. However, if you want some bubbles in your soda, I would let it bubble and work for a couple of days. There are so many great ways to add some health to everything that you eat and to everything that you drink. Fermenting is an amazing way to add health benefits to all of your food and drink products, and this lemonade will be a favorite for us throughout the summer. I hope the recipe brings you some joy. I hope it's something different for you to try out. I hope you give it a try and let me know what you think about the recipe down below. Let me know if you try it out and let me know how it works out for you.